The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time. It's Thursday. It's Korner Booth pregame.
You ready? No debate, cause it's all. I'm too official, got the drip, I got the sauce. Bring the proof when it's time to tell the truth. I'll be at the corner booth, find me in the corner booth, yeah. Still standing and defiant. Slay the competition, cause I'm walking like a giant. Bring the proof when it's time to tell the truth. I'll be at the corner booth, find me in the corner booth, corner booth.
I see as well. Kate, I feel like I have not officially said this. I've tiptoed around it. Kate, will you marry me?
Do I have to answer now? Or
No, you have time. You can think about it. You can think about a way to say no without hurting my feelings if you want.
Oh
lovely. I'll send you a letter.
Just don't even.
Right, cool. Thank you, Shannon. I'll send you my address later so you can send it to my house.
Yeah, I'm never giving you my address. I don't want you getting that close.
Oh, I know.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back into the Korner Booth pregame. I'm your host. I'll just make sure my lights are still fucking on. I'm your host, Jared Clem, alongside my amazing co-host, the TikTok sensation, the Italian Viking, the man who apparently owes taxes to a town he hasn't been in over, I believe, 2 years, he said. From the shitty city of West Haven, ladies and gentlemen, Matt Rodazzo.
Let's put some respect on West Haven. It's Waste Haven. That fucking town I've lived in 3 years tell me that I owe them money. And online it says I own 0. So what happened was, I'll tell you exactly what happened. Somebody put a bunch of names on a wheel and spinned it and said, who can I fuck over today? And it landed on me. So now I have to spend my lovely lunch break tomorrow figuring out why I can't get a renewal of my registration.
Well, either way, it sucks. Listen, it's for all those who don't live in Connecticut, like our two guests do not today. The state of Connecticut is basically a cartel when it comes to taxes. They are evil. They literally took me for $700 because I did not correct. I made, I think, $1,000 more per year than I thought I was supposed to. It's like, oh, you didn't list that in your insurance. We're taking $700. Yoink. So that was a fun return from the IRS in the state of Connecticut. Joining us now, he is a Oklahoma City Thunder fan, a hardcore Sooner fan, a big college football expert, one of the newest members of Belly Up Sports, and one of the coolest dudes I have met in a long time. Ladies and gentlemen, host of the Sooner or Later podcast and Unfair Sports, Jay Smith. What up, man?
What it do? I got me in there?
Yeah, we got you, bro. When I always bring on new guests, I always try to make sure, one, I've met with them already, because I always feel uncomfortable trying to do like my McAfee style intro if I don't know anything about them. Lucky for you, I've met you already, even if it was for 10 minutes, because our schedules are both so packed. This man was doing a show with our friends over at the Southeast End Zone. I was trying to finish up cardio before this show. I think this was 2 weeks ago. And my man Jay goes, yo, I'll be here in a second. I'm like, all right, sweet. I'm watching Diamondbacks game while walking on the treadmill. Perfect timing, right? But either way, Jay, I'm happy you're able to make it on the show for the first installment of, we never really labeled this the last 4 years in a row, but every offseason between the NBA Finals to NFL minicamp, it's called kind of like I look at it like sport as like major sports summer vacation. This is where most media personalities go on vacation, including ourselves. Like, I'm literally going to do 2 shows from vacation this year. Honestly, by the way, doing shows from vacation is literally my favorite thing in the world. Like, we do our football preview while I'm on Martha's Vineyard, and I fucking love it every year. But my favorite thing about all of this is that the topics are open. There's no, like, we could talk college ball for 3 hours. I think one time we argued about baseball stats for 25 minutes, and it wasn't even for teams that we were fans of. I think this is why sports vacation is kind of the most underrated time of the year, because this is where the real creativity for a lot of us, like kind of under the radar sportscasters, really starts taking off. I love this because myself, I am a pro football, pro baseball, and college football guy. Matt is UFC, baseball, and football. and you, my friend Jay, are basketball, a little pro ball, and a lot of college football. And you know what makes this perfect? We got a mixture of a lot of great things today. Also, the man joining us is the closest later is joining us. He's our version of Daniel Jeremiah meets C-3PO meets Hunter Renfro. This man is the Neuralink, one of the smartest human beings I ever met in my life, but also one of the sassiest. He's our version of AJ Hawk. He's DJ Stewart. He'll be here in about 20 minutes or when he feels like showing up. Either way, the NBA season finished up last night. This is kind of the one topic I want to get out of the way because I saw today for my former favorite player and now most hated human on the planet, Karl-Anthony Towns, said, I want people to, I believe Kevin, our boy, our former co-host of the Corner Booth podcast, tweeted this out, and I could not believe he said this on the Pat Bev show. When it's time for me to retire, there will be people saying I changed the game.
Mm.
Nah. Nah. Sorry, bro. That got me ready to talk some basketball. Just that tweet, because it's so fucking stupid. I'm like, bro, you were a marginal big man. KG gave you his endorsement, and you fucking fumbled it.
Fumbled the bag fully.
Okay, so let's talk about this. Is there a more talented but wasted talent big man in basketball right now? Seriously.
So let me ask you this question before we dive into it. Is he big man or is he tall man?
Ooh, I like that.
So you have to ask that assessment when it comes to Karl-Anthony Towns. So Karl-Anthony Towns didn't even go in the post. I mean, we heard the stories of how Jimmy Butler abused him in practice, forced him out of the paint, scored and won a game with a bunch of third stringers, left practice to immediately shower and jump in an interview with Rachel Nichols, literally within like 6 minutes of him abusing them with third stringers. No, the interview was after. It was after. Well,
because I know their history,
hey, there's a lot of history there. But my point is, what did Karl-Anthony do to change the game? Like, give me something that he actually did that's game changing. He's a tall dude that shoots threes, which we've seen that before.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he's a very accurate three-point shooter. He's a freak athlete when he gets going, but
is he Kevin Durant?
No, and he's not KG. He's not K-Love. He's not even like honestly, he's still not even the best Timberwolves big man in the last 20 years.
Exactly.
Kevin Garnett.
Hence my point.
Honestly, you want my Oscar opinion, he's third. If you want to keep that drug dealing Serbian asshole Nikola Pekovic, he's fourth.
Yeah, I mean, Jokic to me is much better than him and a much more of a game changer in comparison. But the question is going to be
too, and then you want to get into like he's in the same caliber as like an Ayton, where he's great at what he does, but he's not elite at what he does because Ayton is just limited by his skill set. Cat is lazy.
Great. Yeah, I would say because easy. That's the question I ask. Yeah. Right. That's the problem is that there's nothing about him and his game truly changes or transcends anything. He was the number one pick that's supposed to be the cornerstone of a team. And then a 20-year-old walks on that court and takes his team from him. Like he literally snatched his chain without having to actually snatch his chain. Like it was just he just walked up to him and said, you know what? I'm going to give you this. This team is yours, Anthony Edwards. This is yours. I'm just going to be here and ride. I'm going to ride shotgun. No, I can't ride shotgun. Okay, I'll ride in the trunk. And it's like, wait, dog, you was a number one pick. Like, how are you not the cornerstone or the main person there? Rudy Gobert gets there and he literally just bumps him back down stratosphere. Then he disappears in playoff games like he always does. So, hey man, I'm just trying to figure out what the hell he's doing that's actually changing the game. That's
as a Wolves fan, right? I bought the Jimmy Butler Jordan 6s. I have those Timberwolves color 6s. I have them. They're kind of clean.
Yeah.
I found them at a thrift store. Bear in mind, I got them for $60 at a thrift store. But because in my country ass area, they'll sell Jordans for cheap out there. They don't realize how much value they got. And I wear them to work sometimes. And here's the thing. I love Jimmy Butler. When he went to Timberwolves, I was fist pumping on the treadmill. Matt remembers this. I was hype as shit. But how many good players did Minnesota have to get rid of to make way for Karl-Anthony Towns? At least with Wiggins, it was just a mental thing. He could not physically do it. He goes to Golden State. His game is revived. Then we find out his baby mom is a piece of human garbage. Anyway, besides the fact is that I literally look at the Timberwolves, and this is why I love that A-Rod took over and this whole organization went through a complete change. They lost Levine. They lost Butler. They lost what's his fucking face? Who'd they trade for?
That guy.
Vanderbilt. They lost Malik. They had to trade so many guys just to fit Towns. And then they draft Anthony Edwards and they realize, this is what a true alpha dog looks like. My man's doing the John Cena to LeBron James after hitting a 3 in his face in his like 5th NBA game. He's dunking on, he dunked on Rudy Gobert. I was like, okay. I'm like, this is what it's like to have an alpha dog again. I'm like, oh shit.
Karl Anthony Towns pretty much got a key to lead by Anthony Edwards. He snatched the chain right off his neck and said, "This is my team now."
He looked to him like the freaking guy from what is it? What's that freaking movie? With Tom Hanks about the Somali pirates. What's that fucking movie?
The Who Pirates?
Whatever. The guy was, "I'm the captain now." That's what he fucking says to Kat.
Yeah.
And Kat's like, "All right, man, you got it. I'm gonna go hang with my Kardashian and Jason girlfriend."
Castaway?
No, that was I can't think of the name of that movie, but it's a more serious movie compared to the Castaways. But yes, that's what happened. He basically told him, "Look at me. I'm the captain."
Oh man, I can't, it's just, as a Timberwolves fan, you guys gotta realize, to me, my first experiences were with the Terrell Brandon, Joe Smith, Sam Cassell Timberwolves with my boy, my second favorite athlete of all. Did I say third favorite athlete of all time, Kevin Garnett. I loved Kevin Garnett like he's family to me. I look at him like a crazy uncle. Even though I never met the man in person, a lot of his motivational speeches got me through middle school and high school. I used to imitate him all the time on the court because I love this shit because he gave 110. I look at Cat, I'm like, man, you's a bitch. The only reason I like Cat is because he's from Jersey and he's a Timberwolves fan. I mean, an Eagles fan. But besides that, I'm like, dude, you suck.
Where do you rank Philadelphia Mark Sanchez?
That he's in the top 40. I'll give you that. Oh shit, my boy Stacy returned into the chat. Oh man, he's ready to talk some Atlanta Braves baseball. Listen, we'll talk about your Braves in a little bit, man. Because my Diamondbacks just lost 3 out of 4 to the Phillies. I'm fucking pissed. But back to basketball. My biggest thing about this whole thing was I think Minnesota now, they're going to get rid of Towns. I want him to go to the Knicks. I want Julius Randle, a shooter off the bench, and give us one of our first back. I'm the happiest man alive because they can get that much for him. They got that much for Gobert. I mean, they overpaid, but they can still get some back. Just give us Randle because Randle's a dog, and Randle don't eat the ball every fucking play. He doesn't want to be the alpha. Everyone knows you walk into the Twin Cities, it's Edwards territory, and Gobert's is enforcing.
Yep.
Do you think Randall and Barrett is too big of an asking price for Towns plus a pick, or do you think you got to go?
If you give us both Randall and Barrett, I'm fucking doing a cowboy dance all the way down to my freaking lottery ticket. I'm saying Minnesota is going to the fucking Western Conference Final if that team gets together. Because you take those two guys' skill sets and you put them in Minnesota, what they already have. And this is hoping they keep Mike Conley for one more season. Because that man was so crucial to Minnesota gelling as a team. They were, I think, 10 games out of the playoffs, or 5 games out. They were out. They were an 8 seed looking in, and then they steamrolled their way up to the 6th or 5th seed. Then Towns comes back, and the team chemistry gets fucked, and they go all the way back to 8. So we got to talk about the fact that Mike Conley and Jalen Noel and Anthony Edwards and Gobert carried that team to the playoff. And then they got curb stomped by fucking the now champion Denver Nuggets. We'll talk about it in about 5 minutes. But I don't know, Matt. Jay, I want to hear you about it. What do you think an accurate package would be? Let's say Cat to the Knicks. Let's say that's the deal. What do you think the Timberwolves are getting back in return for Cat?
Cat to the man. So here's the problem. Minnesota's going to try to recoup a lot of what they spent to get Rudy Gobert. And ain't nobody stupid enough to give them that package for Karl Anthony Towns because we've already watched this movie. We know how it's going to end every time the dude's on the court. So they're going to have to find a way to be okay with taking less just to dump him. This is going to be a dump. It's not going to be we're going to stack up on stars. Or stack up on draft picks. We're basically dumping this player because it's just not working here. Now, I can see the Knicks probably offering up something. They could probably give up like RJ Barrett because I don't know how high they are on him anymore. It doesn't seem like they're I don't think they have enough faith in him when it comes to that. Honestly, if Minnesota wants to get smart, go get Zion. Send him for Zion.
What the fuck? Okay.
Send him for Zion. See how that goes.
I don't want Mariah Mills' baby daddy. Fuck that shit.
Go get Zion. It would be worth it because Zion's going to get you when he's healthy. He's going to get you 27, 7, and 7. He's on 60% scoring.
Look at his fat ass on the court.
He's going to get you. I promise you, he's going to get you 27, 7, and 7 when he's on the court. You just got to. If you get him away from all that food down there in Nolan's,
have you ever been up to Minnesota? It's the land of mayonnaise and everything, double fried cheese curds, man. It's not much better.
Yeah, but you're not eating the fried crawfish and everything down in New Orleans, so he's probably a little better up there.
I know. Listen, Matt, you know Cajun food is my specialty. I love Cajun food more than I love most things on this planet. My Cajun rub is one of the most coveted things I own. But I will tell you this. Listen, if Zion could prove he has got his shit together, sure. But I'd rather take Barrett and Randall. Because you know why? I get Barrett and Randall. Those two dudes are hungry. They got
well, you're not getting both. You're not getting both. New York's not stupid enough to. I'm telling you, that's the problem. Is Minnesota created?
It is the Knicks because they will market Cat like he's the next Patrick Ewing, even though he ain't even Neil Patrick Harris. So
exactly.
So here's the kicker. We don't like. We already got Bradley Beal who's demanding a trade. We got Fred VanVleet so the NBA free agent market's actually starting to pick up a little bit. Trades and everything else. This kind of reminds me of 17 a little bit, where everyone's kind of like, all right, who's moving, who's not, what's happening right now? Everything's a little like everyone's got Mexican standoff. Like everyone's got their hands on their hips ready to pull their pistol because nobody knows who's going to pull the first trigger. We got the freaking parade today. Which, I mean, it was hilarious that Nikola Jokic was just like, nah, bro, I'm done. I want to go home. But, you know.
Yeah, I think that's the funniest thing in the world is, he's the exact same way.
Yeah, draft in 2 weeks, right? And, I mean, listen, I guarantee right before draft, I think free agency starts July 1st, correct?
Yep. Yeah, that weekend. Illegal tampering is the week before. And then, right around before the 4th, you'll get the first days of free agency.
Yeah. So then I believe the draft's the middle of July, end of July, right? I don't fucking remember anymore. NBA draft.
NBA draft's it's the end of June. No, July. You're right.
July. That's right. I thought it was into July. Also, someone's scaring me about Anthony Edwards with his shaved hair, man. That's kind of that's scaring me a little bit.
I'm sorry. The NBA draft is June 22nd, so it's exactly 1 week from today.
Today. Wow.
Well, Minnesota, we ain't drafting this year, but guys, we'll probably get a pick back next year.
I think the Knicks, like what Jay was saying, I don't think they're stupid enough to trade both of those big guys in one package for a Karl Anthony Towns. But I do think they get rid of one or the other, whether it's Randall or Barrett or both. I think with Barrett, they're more inclined to maybe keep him compared to Randall. I think it's one of those scenarios where if we get the right offer, we're going to pull the trigger. But I think he's so fresh still in his career. They're like, if we don't see anything, we'll just keep him another year. But I could see like a Randall and he's young. Oh, Randall? Are you talking about?
Randall's 27 or 28. He's our age.
Yeah. Well, I'm talking about Barrett.
Barrett's what? 23.
Yeah, he's young. They drafted him like 2-3 years ago.
I would love to see a guy like Julius Randle get a chip because they talk about this and it's like, I can bitch him all I want how like Cat just kept pushing out these great players. Nothing's worse than what the Lakers had to deal with LeBron just saying, hey, Brandon Ingram, I know you're like a budding second-tier superstar. Now you gone. Julius Randle, I know you carry a decent Eastern Conference team. Now you gone. I want KCP and his ankle bracelet. I want D'Lo for a second term, and I want freaking, oh my God, Frank Vogel is my head coach.
I might be able to look at
an opportunity to shit on the Lakers for about 5 minutes.
Randall, maybe a pick in like quickly or something like that, maybe.
Yeah, I would listen. I would fucking take that in a heartbeat.
I know you're like, listen, give me a bag of Doritos and like a 6-pack, and like, let's do it.
Literally, honestly, because that probably give more energy to the team than Cat does in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, you probably would.
Any of you guys think LeBron heads any otherwhere besides the Lakers? Now there's all those talks about permissions of seeking trades, and he wants to go to Dallas because Kyrie wants to save his tenure in Dallas, so he's not playing overseas or something.
No, LeBron's not going anywhere. He's going to stay in LA. His son's playing at USC, so he's going to find a way to be there to watch him play ball, as often as possible. So yeah, he's not going to leave the Lakers. I mean, I could totally see him sitting out most of the season next year, though. I mean, he's 38 years old with the most miles of any player in NBA history. Yeah, he probably will find a way to play maybe half the season and then just prepare for the playoffs. Which will be right about when March Madness is over. So, yeah, no, I don't see LeBron's not leaving the Lakers. They need him more than anything.
He ain't leaving. If Bronny went to some other city, I actually like Jay's idea where he might sit out the season and let them freaking tank for a good draft pick, aka his son. Like he may tell him and Ant, like they may sit the season. They may have lingering injuries that just linger, and they just can't stay on the court. LeBron mails it in for 1 year, gets Bronny, and they go for one last ride into the sunset where they will probably be knocked out by a pissed-off Thunder, Nuggets, Timberwolves. Who else is big in the West right now? Phoenix. Clippers, if the ghost of Kawhi Leonard can come back. Just, like 7 Western Conference teams who are just so pissed off, and they're waiting for LeBron to take a season off so they can reload and not have to deal with this bullshit. I think Bron, with all of this, if he just, I understand he's a new school kind of like superstar, but all this crap has just kind of cemented it to me that he will always be 2 or 3 on the all-time list to me. He will never go any higher. I will never.
All of this what?
I don't know, all the crap with the I was ready to put him right on Jordan's tail after that Cleveland title. And then he goes to LA and he goes, "Oh, this is for Kobe, bro." It's like, no, it's not. It's for you. Shut the fuck up. I love Kobe because he's a fellow Eagles fan. I even got my Eagles McNabb Kobe shirt. I got that one. Like the one Hurts wore, I have the same shirt. I have that shit. So, like, I love that shirt. And the worst part is, like, my hatred of LeBron James is well documented because I loved Michael because Michael was just a dog. He reminded me, like, he was that KG cut where these Kobe cut where these dudes wanted to knock your ass out in the middle of the game. They might shake your hand in the offseason, but they still want to beat you. With LeBron, he's like, "Oh, I want to team up with guys." I'm like, "Oh, fuck you." I like
That's
LeBron.
It's so inaccurate, though. That's not how that works. Like, he's not a general manager. He can't tell them what to do. Yeah, but at the same time, every time
background.
But every team, every player does that. Michael Jordan did that with the Bulls. It's no different. Every single one did it.
Yeah, was it Rodman though? Like,
that Jordan fought to get Rodman, right?
I know he fought. I remember watching the documentary. I remember that shit.
Yeah. You know why though, right? You know why, right?
Because nobody could play for defense.
They weren't getting past Shaq, and that was the only dude that's willing to go body to body with Shaq and give Shaq hell. And they saw when Shaq knocked them out the playoffs when Jordan came back that half season. Oh, it was like, no, we got to figure out something to stop that dude because that dude's it. He's the next guy. Get something. And it was perfect because Rodman was this
what I'm still saying is he's still top 3 all the time. Me top 2, honestly. Him and Kareem honestly flip to me depending on whose highlight I watch more.
I get you with that. Kareem's my number 1, but yeah.
See, I love MJ to me because MJ to me is just everything I hope a basketball player on my team could be. Mm-hmm. But then again, like on those Heat teams, my favorite player was D Wade, Bosh, and then Bron. I love Bosh because I love Bosh of his Raptor days. And before we go on this rant even more, ladies and gentlemen, joining us from a very clean apartment in Ohio, the host of the High Low Sports Podcast, the Bert of the Bert and Ernie combo of Belly Up Sports, the Neuralink, well, at least our version. He's kind of like Neuralink Light at this point, and Hunter Renfro's body double, ladies and gentlemen, TJ Stewart.
It's definitely hard to argue with that last one. The rest of them I can make a case against, but that last one I don't got a whole lot of argument on.
I mean, listen, whoever's Bert and whoever's Ernie depends on who responds to my text grumpier between you and your roommate. So
I'll be Bert today. I'm feeling pretty Berty.
There you go. We're just talking about right now. Me and Jay actually had a little discussion about like LeBron next with the Lakers. I kind of made a little out of pocket comment. I'm like, I'm just all LeBron's bullshit. Now, DJ, I've always wondered since you actually live in LeBron's kingdom out there in Cleveland. what I know you're not from there, obviously, but what is your like opinion on the whole LeBron thing with like this, like possibly we're talking about maybe he tanks the season, or maybe like he kind of waits 1 year for Bronny to come out. Maybe him and Anthony Davis just have these nagging injuries that never stop. I said it makes me lose respect for LeBron, but then again, I'm you guys know I'm riding shotgun on the LeBron James hate wagon. Skip's driving, I'm riding shotgun. So,
you guys are holding hands and you're passenger princess in that thing. Like you two are holding hands and singing the tunes along the way. Like you're right.
The only
up there
thing me and that stupid Cowboys fan will ever agree on. So
this will be you guys are riding tight, but I don't think he's built like that. I mean, I know a lot of people like kind of question LeBron and stuff like that, but I don't think he's built like that to where he could tank a season, especially when you're 38, 39 years old. Like there's no way he's built like that. Like maybe you get something that knocks him out for a month. He sits for 5 weeks, but that's the most you're going to get from him. I don't think he's built like that to give up a full season. Anthony Davis might actually sprain his toe and be out for a full season, but that's not on purpose.
Right. And at LeBron's age, he's not trying to waste days. He ain't got much time. Now, of course, he wants to play with his son, but at the same time, he still would like to get 7 championships. That's just the reality of it. He's a competitor just like everybody else. We've seen it. You know, we've seen him grind it out. We've seen him play this year on that fucked up foot. And I'm still trying to figure out how the hell he's playing. I'm waiting for him to have surgery. He's going to have surgery. He's too old to not have surgery, especially with them miles.
Maybe that's his way of sitting that first half of that season out to,
LeBron,
exactly.
If there's ever a quote to describe LeBron, his career, it's a quote from the first Indiana Jones movie. It's not the years, honey, it's the mileage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he's got a lot of them. The one thing that disappointed me about LeBron with all of this is that him and Kevin Durant, they both disappointed me with this, that they, because of the incompetence of front offices that they've been at, and just unfortunate circumstances that happened with them, like Kevin Durant's was mainly unfortunate circumstances. Why didn't they just become mercenaries? Just go team to team, win championships, and just go for like 15 of them. Like I don't see a point in being loyal to one team at all anymore. Not in today's NBA. General managers are way too smart, and the way that they architect these teams to stop certain players. Hell, Boston put together a big three because LeBron went to the finals at 22 years old. That told me everything I needed to know about the way the direction the league was going to go. They're like, oh no, LeBron, it's LeBron watch now. We need to figure out how to put people around people. Kobe said he wanted to leave the Lakers and go to the Clippers because the Lakers couldn't get him help to get him into the playoffs with the Lakers. So I'm trying to figure out why this dude didn't just go be a mercenary. I would have been just jumping around and calling it
I think it's almost like, as much as that'd be cool to jump between team to team, I think there's almost that kind of, correct me if I'm wrong, there's almost kind of that like unwritten rule, like it's not like, yeah, you could be that guy, but to like the fans, to the NBA media, you're going to get ripped for it. And I think guys like LeBron, probably. And I don't think LeBron, and this isn't just ripping on LeBron, I think 80%, 99% of these people in the NBA, not named Ray Allen, don't want to be called a mercenary. They want to win it for a team. I think you think about South Beach, Miami, D-Wade's his dog. That's his dude, right? As much as I grew up on LeBron for bouncing from team to team, he went back to Cleveland and he got them a title. I will always respect him for that because I never rooted so hard for a team I have no allegiance to than I did. Well, also, fuck those Warriors teams, man. Those are the worst. And then the Lakers title, nobody fucking – it's like the LA Dodgers title, man. Nobody counts as Mickey Mouse shit.
That shit counts. It's in the record books. It counts.
Barely.
You get a ring. There's no barely. It counts. It says championship. It says championship. That's all that matters. It says championship. That's all that matters.
Season, it barely counts.
It's a championship. That's all that matters. But thing about it is, though, with LeBron and even the moving around piece, at a certain point, you have to recognize when your front office is trash. Remember, the entire time LeBron was at Cleveland, the first and the second stint, Dan Gilbert did not extend a single general manager's contract. How do you build a contender when every 2 to 3 years you got a new GM?
He's one of the worst owners in sports. We've established this.
Exactly. So I have zero blame for anything LeBron does when he gave because this thing about it, he never forced his way out of any team he was at. He played to the end of his contract every single stop. Never asked for a trade, never forced his way out. He played till his contract was up, then he left. Because that Cleveland run, you get to the finals, your 4th year in the league, carrying literally me and you and everybody in this group to the finals. That told me enough about how LeBron was built. But then when you have Dan Gilbert, who desperately wants his hands in every fucking thing that happens there, yeah, I would have left too. But good thing he came back because as long as they sucked, they could get actual talent to the team. They
True.
wasn't signing free agents. They wasn't trading for nobody. Doo-doo. That's all I can say.
Listen,
That's my defense of LeBron.
I actually agree with you on a lot of these points because as much as like I think I almost get more mad at LeBron defenders than I do actually LeBron himself. Like the LeBron is the outright GOAT. You should stop complaining this. And it's like y'all got to realize how great Jordan was.
I'm a tiers person. I personally have tiers. I have tiers 1, 2, 3, and 4 for my players, and I have the top tier: Kareem, LeBron, and MJ. Because the eras are different.
See, like for me, it's tier God, Jordan, tier demigod adjacent, like just below, almost catching it, but just not there. It's Bron, Kareem, Magic, Kobe, Tim Duncan. And then below that, it's the Shaqs, the freaking who is it? What would you say?
That's the Towns. The Carl Anthony's of the town.
We already talked about that enough. I'm already upset. Stop.
He said the Towns.
Oh my god! But you guys get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
First of all, Kevin, you're banned from my show from ever saying this shit. Fuck the Dodgers. They're the team I hate the most in sports. I despise the LA Dodgers. My Diamondbacks blood is burning right now. Those scumbags.
How many World Series appearances did it take for them to get to that Mickey Mouse championship?
See, this is why, as much as people hate on the Astros and the Red Sox of those years because they cheated because of banging trash cans, they did God's work by keeping the Dodgers from winning a title.
How about the fact that in 2020, just how you know it's not an actual sports year, the Marlins were in the playoffs. Marlins, did they win the division that year, or did they almost win the division?
They almost won the division. That year was baseball was so fucking stupid that year.
I miss those days. I love when baseball's stupid.
Listen, baseball this year's been magnificent. It's so much fun.
Yes,
I literally turned on a
wait. You're fans of the pitch clock?
Oh, I love the pitch clock.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Because my team is benefiting from it. My team plays fast, hits the ball in the gaps, and is young. They don't need 55 fucking seconds to throw one damn pitch. None of their guys have to wind up their entire body to throw 97. Most of them throw low 90s and they get out of games.
Yep.
I love it. I love that the Mets are suffering because of it. They paid basically the mortgage of 85% in New York just to fucking get a team that can't survive.
I love all the rules except I will never enjoy the extra man on second base and extra innings rule. I can't do it. I hate that rule. I like the pitch clock. It's especially when you're a Yankees fan, you have a lot of pitchers on your roster that take a long time to throw a fucking ball. So I like the pitch clock. That really would have been helpful for Frankie Montas until he decided to have I think it was shoulder or elbow surgery in February because he is a genius. So I don't know why he didn't get that in fucking December or November, but he waited till February. But that would have been great for him because he
wanted that health insurance. Nah,
man takes like 40 days and 40 nights to throw a damn pitch.
I just, you know what? Well, I guess this is a perfect time. We were gonna just jump into first round, but we kind of been like just going on a tangent since we got to throw up some love for our sponsors. So I'm not even gonna throw up the Whiskey Myers style music today, but. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the first round presented by the amazing people at Mahler Bros. 50% off with promo code BLADE15. I got my blue camo polo in the mail. It is super comfortable. I wore it on the course last week. Really stretchy, really comfortable, nice breathable fabric. It was very nice, very fun to wear. Also, I got a lot of compliments on it, so always love it. Mahler Bros, official sponsor of Korner Podcast and Belly of Sports. And also, this is the first round. I wanted to start, but we kind of just went on rants. That's what I love about the summer vacation episodes because there's no fucking control. We are pure fucking chaos from the jump. And I will say this, with my favorite thing about baseball this year, and you know, Kevin, you actually redeemed yourself because the pitch clock is beautiful. But also, if you say you hate bat flips, you are really banned from my show. Bat flips are beautiful too.
I love bat flips.
I love the showboating, fist pumping, fighting baseball.
I love the ones where they,
I like Bryce Harper baseball, even though that bastard just beat my Diamondbacks today. I love the fact that guys are going full go into the fucking base. I love Moment Odor knocking Jose Batista's ass out on second base. This is also why I love that we cut Mad Bum and I went on a 20-minute rant about it because he was the worst. He was a baseball purist who should go back to the fucking rodeo.
We went over his stats. That was terrible.
Yeah, it read like a Mad Lib of what's the worst baseball stat you can imagine for a pitcher.
If I blind read you those stats and then told you I was Madison Bumgarner before I even got to that part, you would have been like, I don't know how this man's in the league. It was so bad. He had like quadruple.
I think the last straw was he got shelved like 12 runs or
He
8
had
runs.
like
Ridiculous. And Torey Lovello goes, I can't even. It's an instant loss. It's like Alek Manoah up in the Toronto Blue Jays. They're guaranteed a loss every 5 days. You can't win a division like that.
Oh man, that guy can't pitch with that pitch clock. He's not doing well up there. But I mean, Bumgarner stats, he had like double the amount of earned runs compared to the amount of innings he's pitched. It was just insane.
All right. We're gonna go into the we're gonna go start getting rapid fire here for our first round. Gold Nuggets. Congrats to the Denver Nuggets on winning their first ever NBA championship. Nikola Jokic won the MVP as 80% of America predicted. I would say it's disappointing for the Miami Heat, but besides Jimmy Butler and old Thickums McGee, a.k.a. Kyle Lowry, I don't understand how they were going to win that series if they felt overmatched in every game. And Jamal Murray should get like an adjacent award because when he was on dishing assists and playing his game, the Nuggets were just a better team. You couldn't stop them. When you have two bona fide offensive stars and the other team only really has one, it's not a contest. And Bam Adebayo is not an offensive star. He's fun. He's a fun energy player, but he's basically Aaron Gordon, but about maybe an inch taller. That's basically what he is. And Aaron Gordon played out of his fucking mind, too. He kind of had like an Iguodala kind of series where he just locked dudes up and had a couple great games. But unlike that weird-ass 2014 final that still makes no sense to me to this day, Jokic won. Best reaction of all time. He just wants to go home. And honestly, congrats to Denver, man. Y'all football team sucks because Russell's a clown. Y'all baseball team is going to be the worst in the division for the next 20 years. The hockey team won 2 years ago, so hey, props. But listen, the Nuggets, I thought if Melo wasn't going to win one with y'all, they were never going to win it. I wish y'all went back to those Carolina blue and yellow jerseys because those were hot. But listen, congrats, guys. Like, just they looked like the best team in basketball all year. They were like quiet number one, and then they just kind of kept kicking teams in the head to get them out of those series.
Which kind of surprising, to be honest. In watching and paying attention to the way that the Nuggets were playing ball, they were more surgical with everything they did. It wasn't just, wham, I'm pulling out a sledgehammer and beating the shit out of you. It was more of a boom, 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 boom. Next thing you know, you're just falling apart. You're just like, wait a minute, why am I bleeding? Like, where did this come from? Wait, we're down 30? Fuck, where's my rib? Like, they're basically black market dealers cutting people's kidneys out while they sleep. They put you to sleep and they cut your kidney out, sell that shit. But they were great. Like, Jokic was out there just surgically beating folks without actually jumping. Like, his whole goal in his game is to not jump, which is even more fascinating.
Jay, I referred to him as a graceful manatee, is how he plays basketball, just kind of floating through the lane.
He floats.
He floats.
His feet doesn't touch the ground, but it doesn't actually come off the ground either. Like, if that makes sense. It's a fascinating phenomenon, but he just went out there. He just cooked everybody, man. His eyes, his vision, everything. And I guess the best part about him, the way he played this year, is that he didn't win the MVP. If he would have won the MVP, they was losing in the Western Conference Finals. It's just the way things work.
I was clown shit. Like, listen, Jokic was a supreme player. Had a better season, in my opinion.
It's fair, and I'm not going to disagree with you on that. But the problem is that Jokic
works. He would have been knocked out in the Western Conference Finals by the fucking Lakers, and life would have sucked.
Yeah, would have pissed off everybody. Yeah, exactly. It's one of those. For some reason, MVPs ain't the last MVP to win an NBA Finals was Steph Curry back in 2015. It just ain't happening no more.
I don't want to talk about that year in basketball.
It just doesn't happen, right? So it's. Embiid had one of the 2 years in a row, big man, averaging over 30, something we haven't seen in a while. I always tell everybody when it comes to the MVP trophy, it's really about a stat or a performance in a year that we haven't either seen in a while or something we've never seen before. That's kind of how it plays. But Jokic, analytics wise, if you go into the actual nerd numbers, yeah, he was on the piece of paper fire and behind the scenes fire. It was everything. It's just that he doesn't do it in the sexy way like everybody wants.
I refer to like the MVP trophy like the Russell Westbrook award. Like, listen, like Russ was amazing. Prime Russ is something I don't think we're going to see for a very long time.
Oh yeah, no,
and
nobody's
that,
gonna be that
was so underrated. And I know you as a Thunder fan understand that, like, dude, like I loved watching Russ cook like that.
Russ is fun to watch.
Russ is I root so hard for Russell Westbrook because Russ gives a fuck.
Yes,
Russ is the anti-Karl Anthony Towns. Russ wants to beat your head in and win.
Yes,
and he wants it so hard, but he just doesn't know how to pace himself.
Yeah, no, he's on gear 7 at all times.
Yeah,
he's a V10.
Listen, when Russ was a free agent, I was like, please have him come to the Timberwolves. I will buy his jersey tomorrow. I love his effort. I love his energy. Russell Westbrook to me is that guy. I hate when he gets shit on because to me he's what basketball players effort-wise should be.
Yeah, exactly. Now it was funny though, as we say that.
Wants it.
I'm a little disappointed he ended up in the West Coast. I really would have hoped he would have ended up with the Heat. If he would have ended up with the Heat wins this series.
Him and buckets, they might
just because they ran out of gas. The Heat in this entire series ran out of gas, and it's all unfortunate situations. Jimmy Butler has cemented himself as one of the greatest players to play in this game that we will not judge for not winning a championship.
He's our generation's Charles Barkley, basically.
I can totally see that in a way.
Attitude-wise, he plays.
I could see that. Charles still had a tendency of not playing hard enough in certain games, but I digress. He has cemented himself because of this. He's willing to work his ass off. He embodies Heat culture, and he will carry a team to the finals, which he's done twice now. Because you lose Victor Oladipo and then Tyler Hero, like literally almost back to back. If they would have had Oladipo, that gives them an additional score. Series probably is different. It's going to be more competitive. You have Hero the entire time.
Butler did threes.
Right. Jimmy Butler did what we feel like Jokic should have done last year when they lost Jamal Murray.
Just wait, because there might be some video of him chucking Towns through that window. We don't know yet.
That's a fair point. He never yeeted nobody out of a window.
Allegedly.
I've heard. Well, we talked the stories of what happened in the bubble and his coffee business, and who people suspect was coming by and hanging out in his room. But we digress on that one.
How do you think she got that exclusive about the fucking Timberwolves game? Come on, she knew. She was hitting it. She was hitting that shit for years.
Well, speaking of, it's kind of a crossover, but speaking of Miami Heat, I don't know if anybody heard the recent Conor McGregor news. Conor McGregor is being accused of rape, pretty much, against a female at the last Miami Heat game that he was in attendance for.
UFC, go on.
Yeah. After he knocked out the mascot, he felt pretty good and went and apparently sexually assaulted a woman. But it's saying that Conor McGregor was accused of sexually assaulting a woman during an NBA Finals game last week in Miami. The woman said McGregor violently forced himself on her inside a VIP men's bathroom. Why was she in a VIP? Never mind. According to the letter to McGregor, his team, she said McGregor aggressively kissed her before also attempting to force her into multiple sexual acts, which of course he denies through his lawyer that ever happened. So that's a little Miami Heat crossover with MMA, but that is going on right now. Conor McGregor and the Miami Heat news. Did the mascot ever did the guy ever press charges, or did he just take it as an honor that he got knocked out by McGregor?
Still getting through that concussion. Once he gets through it, he's not gonna be a
mascot. I think Conor hit him so hard he's still in the hospital somewhere.
He laid a good one on him and then just gave him that last ground and pound, which I think was a little harder than the initial punch. You need to have some padding in that helmet. That guy had to have signed something.
Either way. All right. Last thoughts on the Nuggets. I think I wouldn't say the most underwhelming win of all time. I would say just it was kind of like we kind of saw it coming. And also, Mason did call it Nuggets in 5. So, shout out
Mason
to our
also
boy.
swallows his dip spit, so Mason might be a
It's
fucking.
just Zin, man.
bro.
You're making him seem like he's a rocket
Listen,
scientist. I call dip spit too, or Zin
Listen,
spit. Sorry.
I did the whatever's the
It's-
second highest
It's
milligram
just
thing.
nicotine,
6.
man. Relax.
Listen, I tried it a little bit and I didn't even swallow it or anything. I just spit it out like usual, and I got so sick every time I tried one. I don't know how you guys swallow it.
Dude, first of all, we really gotta start saying phrasing right now. 2, like, dude, I used to do the Camel Snuffs back in the day when I was trying to get myself off of long cut. That
Also
shit's
make
fast
sure
right.
I,
You could just knock that shit back like it was regular, like it was nothing. So like I think the kicker is, one, your stomach's got to get used to it. Also, the worst is I had about this much fucking red man in my mouth. I'm on a bike riding through a vacation. I hit a bump and I swallowed maybe about 4 ounces of fucking red man juice. You want to talk about uncomfortable and your stomach killing you? That shit was pain, bro. For that day on, I have always looked at dip spit with respect. I'm like, I will not let you get anywhere past my teeth. You are going on the ground. I don't care where I'm at. I refuse to let my stomach hurt like that.
I must not have licked enough doorknobs when I was little because my immune system is not built for some dip spit. And
Bro, I ate them doorknobs. I didn't lick them.
Ugh. Oh man.
All right. Next up, we got to talk about a little hockey here. Knights stay golden. Congrats to the Las Vegas Golden Knights for their first Stanley Cup championship. Everyone remembers in their first season they went and got there, but then lost to the Washington Capitals. They get back. They get the win. 2 first-time champions in winter sports. Kind of a nice, kind of cool thing. I appreciate it. So
shout out to the Knights with their illustrious team history, finally getting a finals win after like all of the years in the league. 6 maybe. Amazing.
Hey man, 6 years of pain. 6 years of pain. You go to the Stanley Cup your first year.
Listen, it's like my Diamondbacks won the World Series after only 3 years in existence, man. It's like you walk in, get the dub, and you go.
You really did that to New York in 9/11 and everything, man.
Hey, listen, that was your fault for trying to jam one of the best hitters in baseball.
When you got Mariano, I mean, you could jam anybody with Mariano's cutter, but I guess not that day.
Hey, Luis Gonzalez was steroided up and ready to knock a ball into the outfield. Happening. All right. By the way, he's like the best fucking commentator in baseball. I love that shit. Him and Steve Perfume. All right. We're going to a little NFL news. Actually, no, we're going to go UFC first. Maddie, you can take the lead on this one.
Man. Next to Amanda Nunes is, so it's like your argument where you had God tier. Actually, I shouldn't even say that. Amanda Nunes is God tier of women's combat fighting. Everybody knows I love Ronda Rousey.
She's a mean mother.
Ronda Rousey will always be my number 1 women's fighter in UFC history that I love to death and will always love. But Amanda Nunes is literally like Ronda Rousey Jr. to me, even though she fucked her up in like a round. But so Amanda Nunes has recently retained her bantamweight championship and has decided to retire from mixed martial arts. Arguably the greatest female fighter in UFC history. This woman has the accomplishments. Just whatever you think she accomplished more. She was just one of the most decorated fighters I've ever seen. Honored to be able to have watched her entire career. She has the most wins in UFC title fights amongst women with 11. Most wins in UFC women's bantamweight championships fights with 8. Most bouts in UFC women's bantam championship fights with 9. She's the first female fighter in UFC history to win 2 titles, the bantamweight and the featherweight, and has also held them simultaneously at the same time. She's the first fighter in UFC to defend both titles in 2 different divisions while holding both titles unanimously. So she's held both at the same time. She's defended them in different times while being multi-champ at the same time. She's the 6th multi-divisional champion in UFC and 3rd to hold the 2 titles simultaneously. She's the first and only fighter to retire as a multi-division champion in UFC history. And this is the one that gets me the most. She's the 4th longest single UFC title reign of all time, 1,981 days, behind guys like Demetrius Johnson, Mighty Mouse, George St. Pierre, and Anderson Silva, 2 of them arguably one of the best fighters in UFC history right there. She was a one-time featherweight champion, and then she's held the bantamweight champion. I believe she had about 8 title defenses, I believe, in those. Just there's nothing you could possibly add to her resume. 25-3, I think, or 23-5, 25-5. One of those was a record. There's nothing you can add to her resume to enhance it anymore. She is an undisputed first ballot Hall of Famer. Greatest UFC women's fighter in history, in my opinion. Love Ronda to death, but Nunez definitely tops that. This one, I think, is an actual, like, I'm retired and I'm gone. I don't think, because listen, she lost the title once to Juliana Pena, and she came back and fucked her up in the rematch and beat her up again. So, like, there's really no need to fight anybody else. Like, you lost it once and you kick the shit out of her the next time you fought her. So, like, there's no competition. She's like Connor. She maxed out at that time. So, happy trails to Amanda Nunes, the best UFC fighter, women's UFC fighter in history.
Not to mention, too, that featherweight belt that she has, that division's gone now. It only existed because of her. That division's pretty much gone. So she retires and takes a division with her.
I think that kind of cements your own, like, part of history. You literally are the reason for a division. Anything, Jay? Anything else on Amanda Nunes before we roll into our next top, NFL? Fair enough.
Salute.
That's all I got. Yeah, salute. Listen,
Salute.
UFC was never, besides my boy Johnny Bones, don't really care much about UFC. I love Conor and Khabib shenanigans. I love the fact that Nick and Nate Diaz look like those two dudes I want in a bar fight. But besides that, I could give a shit less about UFC. But y'all, listen, I salute you, man, Nunez. I watched maybe 5 women's UFC fights in my life. I watched you fuck every girl up you fought. So salute to y'all, man. You a badass.
It's a lot of women. There's a lot of women out there that are happy.
Every woman, man. You know, she is a lioness to the T. All right, we're talking NFL here. Says OWS Diva wide receiver drama. Says every old white guy. All right. This was shout out to my boys over at Craft Brew for the inspiration for this one because they use that OWG term loosely. All right, we've got Stephon Diggs, who reportedly left practice before practice. Sean McDermott was worried. Now he's back practicing. We have DeAndre Hopkins, who is meeting with the Patriots for a second day, and nothing on Dalvin Cook yet. So that is our NFL update. The Diggs thing cracks me up because every year Stephon Diggs' situation in Buffalo starts off a little more volatile. Every year it gets a little bit more. So next year he might actually demand a trade, but then play the full season. I think that's my prediction for next year. This year he misses a practice, scares everyone a little bit. They go to the Super Bowl, get their ass handed to them by Philadelphia, whatever, it happens. Okay, all I'm saying is that Diggs kind of has been kind of a drama queen every offseason. I think he's got something in his contract with some sponsor where he has to have some kind of bullshit drama. Even if it's just all news, just to keep his name in the news, because he probably doesn't even give a shit. He's probably in practice catching balls right now. But I love how this was a headline. I'm like, oh, great. We're going to hear Diggs to the Cowboys talk for about 2 weeks. So, DJ, I'll start with you, man. What's your opinion on this whole Diggs situation?
I don't even know what to think because it starts out, as you mentioned, oh my God, diva receiver. Wednesday, Josh Allen, them saying we're great. Everything's all wonderful. Thursday, Sean McDermott's like, yeah, he was excused. It was cool. We're all good. Just completely nullified after saying we were deeply concerned. You used the phrase deeply concerned for a guy you excused. And then you canceled practice tomorrow.
Okay. My boss is deeply concerned when my coworker let $5,000 worth of freaking equipment go without taking a check. That's deeply concerned. Not, I let him go. I'm deeply concerned. Dude, there's a difference. You got to realize, there's optics to this shit. This is not good.
It beats the heck out of me. I'm going to say it'll probably be a little bit tumultuous this season, but
we're going to hear a story about this in the offseason. I guarantee there's something going to happen. But I think we're not going to hear about it for a little bit. I think this is the last of it for the next couple of weeks. But we're going to hear something about this either mid or end of the season.
I'd say especially if they start out 2-4 or something like that, 1-5. They look like if they look like dog trash right away, I think things start to rumble a little bit.
I think they play like 3 or 4 contenders, and one of them's like going into Philly in prime time. Like they're gonna get their head. Like they may have like a 4-game stretch where they get their head handed. So, because the problem is they didn't address a single problem in the offseason.
That's fair. Yeah, I think the biggest need that they addressed was like drafting Dalton Kincaid just to go with Dawson Knox. I mean,
I drafted in 2 mock drafts already because I have my actual fantasy draft on fucking Monday because our commissioner is going on vacation for a month and a half. So like he's like, oh guys, we gotta do it in June. I'm like, so when half my team tears their ACL during minicamp as a defending champion, I should have just mailed the trophy yet or should I wait? Because you see, the trophy, guys, for my league is right there. I got it. It's right on my wall. But I'm like, do I have to like? Also, by the way, I don't want to fucking talk about it. I did a couple mock drafts today at work when there was some downtime, and I was like, oh god, I don't like how the season's turning out already. All right,
Early.
Dude, I may take a quarterback first overall, make a 5th overall, because I'm like the first 4 running backs go or receivers, and then it's like I could just get an. I don't know, man. I might.
running back's gonna be rough.
My pick, they're telling me to take Travis Kelce. Something in my head says don't do it.
I took him in the 3rd round, and it worked out well for me. But it's tough because if you're picking late in the 1st round,
so fucking weird. Anyway,
yeah.
Diggs, Jay, what are you thinking about this whole Diggs drama? I don't even know who do you root for as a pro team, by the way. Are you going to tell me you're a Cowboys fan right now?
Hell no, ain't no damn Cowboys fan. No, I'm a Buccaneers fan.
Oh yeah, you told me this.
Yeah,
okay, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, as a child, I chose the Buccaneers to break my heart for the rest of my life. So about 7 years old.
Apparently, a franchise quarterback in Baker Mayfield. So
I'm kind of excited about Baker being there. We got some stability. I think Baker's problem has always been stability. I mean, he went to the Rams and showed out in like 2 days. That kind of tells you something right there if a guy can do that.
Maybe Stefanski's system, besides for Nick Chubb, kind of sucks because David Njoku is one of the most physically gifted tight ends I've ever seen. Also, shot Cedar Grove High School. My mom's high school, by the way. David Njoku from Cedar Grove, New Jersey, is one of the most physical. He as a tight end, I've never seen a more physically gifted tight end. Maybe Darren Waller, right? Or Evan Ingram, maybe Irv Smith, like a lot of these dudes who could just move, right? I'm starting to think maybe Cleveland's offense just sucks. Like Stefanski was touted as this like brain trust, but besides Nick Chubb, nobody really benefits from it.
Yeah, that's what it feels like when you watch them play. Mm-hmm. It's so run heavy, and they limit what the quarterback is supposed to do. What a lot of people don't know is in that offense, the set mainly is the quarterback is told where to throw it. Yeah, he's one of the Stefanski's similar to the way that Kyle Shanahan coaches. Sean McVay's a little bit this way, but he gives some leeway too. But they believe their system is so great. If you do it the way I tell you to, you'll be successful. And that's the problem.
The Bucs could win the division. Like seriously, like, I'm just like the Rashad White, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. They still have a decent team. And if Baker's halfway decent, they really the only pieces they really lost were 1 or 2 guys in defense. Yeah, Shaq Barrett, big loss. I get it. But
I mean, there's nobody really that good in the South. So yeah, technically,
I know. It's like the Bucs could win 9 games and win the fucking division.
Yeah,
and everyone's acting like it's New Orleans or Carolina or fucking Atlanta. I'm like, everyone forget that like Baker's a decent quarterback and he's got Mike Evans and fucking Godwin to throw the ball to, and he can hand the ball to Rashad White. I'm like, we're gonna do our early division, our football preview, obviously. Jay, maybe because I know DJ always rolls through for that one. Maybe we'll have you drop in for our division picks. We always do that at the end of August. But like last year, I was like, anybody else just not like I'm just not. I said Jacksonville was going to win the South last year. Or I said they were going to be a 10-win team. Everyone thought I was wild. Everyone thought I was wild. I said, listen, Jacksonville, 10-win team, and everyone's looking at me like I'm freaking crazy. I'm like, I get the same vibe off Tampa. Dude, Baker's been fucked over everywhere he goes in the NFL. He gets a shot at the Rams, and he proves he can win a game. And the Rams are basically playing with us 4 as the receiving core.
The Rams were basically on their skeleton crew at that point. And so, he proved it. They were down a lot of people.
Yeah. Also, everyone's crowning the 49ers as like they're gonna come back and they're gonna get at Philly. They gotta get out of their own division. They gotta play Seattle, who's healthy now, and LA, who's healthy.
I mean, that Niner defense is great, and they still
Brock
have
Purdy's trash, bro.
Shanahan with those play calling abilities. The question's going to be is who's going to throw the ball? That's
Sammy,
really the
I
question.
see ghosts.
I think they said Brock Purdy could come back healthy. I'm
Yeah,
not
okay.
I'm not
Minnesota,
knocking.
then what's his face? Then
Trey Lance.
My Eagles defense breaks him again. It's okay.
I'm not high on the Rams, and I'm not buying the hype of Stafford and Cooper back healthy and that all's well in that land over there. I still think, like, at best, they're going to win maybe eight or 9 wins at best, I think, right
they only
now.
need to knock him off for one game. They only play him
No,
twice.
but I think
McVay
especially
can do that, though.
I think especially, though, if Brock Purdy does miss some time and you do have Darnold or Lance in there, I think it's very possible that the Seahawks, if Geno plays like he did last year with JSN in that mix and everything, and Kenneth Walker fully healthy for the whole season, I think they could possibly make a run at that division. I'm still giving it to the Niners, but I think Seattle could make a big push.
Deej, you've been a little quiet. What are you thinking about the NFC South and the NFC West? Two of the most clusterfuck divisions in football right now.
So the NFC South, I'm not touched out of the 10-foot pole. That is a mess, and I have no idea what's coming out of that one because everybody can win 10 games. Everyone can win one game. It can go one way or the other. That one, not touching that one in June. For the NFC West, the Rams will be fine until Matthew Stafford gets hurt again. I mean, he had a neck injury last year as a spinal cord. What are the chances he's going to play a full season this year? Now just bounce back with the amount of injuries he's had throughout his career. That man has been hit by a meat grinder for 12 straight years every Sunday. If he plays the full season, kudos. I wouldn't bet anything on that. Cooper Kupp will be great, but that won't. I don't think he's going to win you a Super Bowl again. Lightning doesn't strike twice like that, so they'll be mid-tier. Cardinals, we're not going to.
Kyler Murray's mediocrity crew, and also
Mr. Cannon right there.
Exactly. I do favor the Seahawks right now because they have a lot more stability across the board. I love the Devin Witherspoon pick. I think he is a fantastic corner for that type of defense. Pairing him with Tariq Woolen, JSN fits perfectly with Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf. Usually Pete Carroll drafts kind of wonky and it works out. Their later picks do well. Their first round picks kind of stink. This year I thought they hit it out of the park. And until I see who's taking the snaps for the 49ers, I'm a little uneasy. Maybe Sam Darnold comes in there and looks like that. We know California, Sam Darnold's pretty good back in his UFC days. So maybe that comes out of nowhere. Or maybe Trey Lance, after sitting and breaking for 2 years, kind of hits that jump up. He hasn't played enough football. He's played like 17 games in 4 years, including college.
Can I make a statement about the 49ers quick? Because I've been wanting to say this for a while. One, because they've been taking shots on my Eagles for the past fucking 3 months, even though we kicked their head in like a bad, like bad. Like, we also, like, that game was over within 20 minutes. The Niners are acting like they were robbed, but nobody else cared when Wentz got knocked out by Jadeveon Clowney 5 minutes into the game against Seattle in 2019. But when it happens to the Niners, oh my God, it's a problem. I got beef with Niners and Niners fans. Also, y'all got lucky. Dallas should have won that game. What the fuck? Like, besides the Zeke taking that stupid snap shit, like, Dallas should have won.
That's the story.
Okay. Seattle basically quit at halftime. If they didn't quit at they had you guys on the ropes and they ran out of gas. And also they had so many lucky wins during the regular season. I really do not think I think everyone's overestimating San Francisco. I think they're going to be a good team. I think they're going to win their division. I think that they're going to hit a rude awakening when they hit the playoffs because everyone in the NFC East got better. Everyone got better. Philly, Dallas, Washington, New York, everyone got better. The South, everyone got better. Listen, the Buccaneers, say what you will about Brady and Shaquille Barrett, as much as I love Brady and he's the GOAT, right? Baker Mayfield is about where Brady was last year, if not a little more energy. Accuracy-wise, we'll toss that out, but I'm saying for wins and losses, they can still go 9-8, all right? But the Panthers got better, Falcons got better, and the Saints got better. Then you go to your own division. The Seahawks had an amazing draft. They get a full season with Kenneth Walker and a full offseason with Geno Smith. Geno wasn't even supposed to be the starter. It was supposed to be Drew Lock. And then you go to the North, where it's basically Detroit's division to lose, because I don't buy the Chicago hype. I think that Jordan Love and Christian Watson are going to be fun in Green Bay, but they're not going to win a lot of games. And then Minnesota might eat itself alive by week 10. So, in all reality, San Fran caught lightning in a bottle last year. I think they're still going to be a playoff team, but they're going to get their head kicked in by somebody. They're going to be a 4 or 5 seed, a 3 or 4 seed. They're not going to be a number 1 seed. I don't even think they win the fucking division, honestly. I think Seattle wins it. That is my pick to win the NFC West. I will stamp on that pick until something else happens. Until like either Walker or Smith or DK goes down. God forbid, hopefully it doesn't happen. They address their issues. And now they're going to go win. I think that the gap was maybe about 300 yards. It was kind of like the way the gap was between like Philadelphia and Dallas. But unlike Dallas, Seattle closed that gap and then hopped them. So my thing about San Francisco is y'all caught your lightning in a bottle and you wasted it. Yeah, it sucks what happened to y'all, but it didn't matter if you had Joe Montana's out there. The Eagles defense was going to break him.
Yeah, it's true.
That team needed a bad referee and a turf asshole to lose. So just take it and leave it, man. Y'all had a good season. Just stop taking shots. That's my 2 cents.
That was not 2 cents. That was a whole $1.50. Like that was a good
$10 bill, bitch.
When you started this thing, you said, I got a quick thing to say here. Like this was supposed to go around the horn, and you just took the entire band with you. You know what, Matt? You're next. I'm in charge now. Matt, go.
I don't even know what the topic is.
Pick one and keep rolling.
Is it Diggs? Is it the South? What are we talking about?
We're talking Southwest. We're kind of just listen. This is why I love summer vacation. We're just bullshit.
Well, first off, Jay, that is a beautiful shirt. Is that General Booty?
General Booty.
That is fucking awesome.
I looked. I was like Booty Corner. I was like, the only guy I know in college is General Booty. That's Booty. Well, by name. That is awesome. I gotta find that shirt somewhere. I don't know. In regards to Diggs, I think this is something that's just blown out of proportion. I think that I feel like this is just a personal thing that was just blown out into the media for all this giant stories, and he probably just had some sort of family emergency, had to attend that, came back the next day or wherever it was. But I think all will be fine with him. He's a passionate player. Not saying he's not going to eventually demand a trade when they wind up choking the playoffs again, but I think right now there's nothing that's really that crazy. But Southwise, honestly, in my opinion, I think right now this is the Saints division to lose. I like Derek Carr, especially with that team, with Michael Thomas, with I don't know if they still have Jarvis Landry or not, but they got Chris Olave down there, Alvin Kamara. The defense is always solid. I think right now they're the more talented team on paper in that division, but we've seen that entire division the last couple of years. It's anybody's in the air, but I think it's the Saints unless they just completely torpedo. Carolina, I think, will be better, but obviously I'm not giving them the division after that 1 year. You know, you've got Miles Sanders out and Adam Thielen and somebody else that's not very impressive on the other side. Is it DJ Chark?
DJ Chark gets a bad rap, but when he's on the field, he can literally break a drive.
Yeah, but DJ Chark, Adam Thielen, Miles Sanders isn't going to win your division offensively.
But then again, there's no real offense in that division. The only team with good offensive weapons is Tampa.
Yeah, and I like Tampa too. My big concern is just I've seen all the practices. It was a Baker, Mayfield, and Kyle Trask not making that target throws. But
it's practice. Man, relax.
He could be going 10 for 12, and they're just showing those 2 incompletions. So it is mini camp, like you're saying.
They showed 2 chucking deep balls last year, and it was unimpressive. He had a great season until his brain turned to jelly.
The South is open, in my opinion, right now. My pick would be the Saints, but anything can happen in that time. I already know that I think the Niners get the West, but I think Seattle makes a giant push if Brock Purdy is not there week 1. If Brock Purdy's not there for the first couple weeks of the year, I'm giving that thing to Seattle right away with Kenneth Walker and everybody healthy. Kenneth Walker carried that team, and a lot of times it's like Breece Hall did for the Jets at times. The North, to me, that's got to be the Lions. I think Chicago will be better, but I don't think they're going to be good enough to get into the playoffs for the division. Jordan Love, I think, has the most pressure of any quarterback on him right now. The man sat behind Aaron Rodgers for 3 years, and in those 3 years, he had 2 MVP seasons that he was able to witness from somebody else in front of him. If this man is not good, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know how you're not good. 3 years behind Aaron Rodgers, where he won 2 MVPs. The East, I'm going to give it to Buffalo until otherwise, but I think my Jets make a very strong push, especially at least in second place. I think they give Miami a run for the money, squeeze into the second spot. I think New England goes last for the first time in like 30 years, almost, whatever it is. But Buffalo, I give it to them until otherwise, unless Aaron Rodgers just lights it up and Josh Allen starts to revert back to his old self now that Dable's not there anymore. There's a lot of other. I just skipped over so many conferences in all these divisions. You want to go on the other side of the South, on the other side of the AFC wall? I'm going to give it to Jacksonville. I think it's their. I think it's Jacksonville's division.
That's the easiest one to pick in the entire.
Yeah, I mean,
league.
it's not the Texans, it's not the Colts, unfortunately. And I don't think the Titans are going to do it either. So I'm giving that one to Jacksonville right now.
How early till Will Levis plays? We did the over-unders last year with Kelsey and DJ, Matt. Remember, we did the over-unders for quarterbacks.
I'm taking the under, whatever it is.
Apparently, Tennessee can't get the quarterback position right. They've
3.5 under.
Ooh, I'm saying 5. I think Tannehill's going to get a couple of like those lucky wins. He's going to get a couple like Henry's going to go off. Tajee Sharp's going to be that kind of like that good secondary back. And then they're going to catch a couple losses. Maybe one's to DJ's Colts. Maybe one is to, they catch a loss to the Texans because Stroud's getting hot. Because also, by the way, we also are ignoring the fact that Stroud has like a bunch of good but super underrated receivers. I said this on the show after the draft. The Texans could easily win 8 games. And everyone's ignoring it. I'm like, they have a good roster.
They drafted a receiver.
Davis Mills is fucking terrible. So if CJ's even 80% of what he could be, they'll win 8 games. And John Mechie, by the way, just beat cancer. He can beat a coverage.
Yeah. Nico Collins,
dude, I
did they draft somebody in the draft?
Every year. I love
Tank Dell. That's what they drafted.
Yeah. So I heard great things about Tank Dell right now. But the real underrated factor of that offense, I think, is going to be Dalton Schultz. I like Dalton Schultz a lot as a tight end. I think he slept on a lot. I'm not putting him on the same level as like Mark Andrews or Kittle or Kelsey or anything like that. But I think he is a very good tight end, underrated and underappreciated. And I think he could do well with Stroud if they can kick it off right away. But I like that offense. I mean, you got Dameon Pierce, Schultz, Collins, Dankdell, Mechie, and now you've got CJ Stroud at that quarterback.
Okay. I loved all this, guys. It went from talking receivers to football. That's why I fucking love the offseason, man. We start bullshit.
We forgot about DeAndre.
And no, listen, what he met with the Patriots, like nothing happened.
Yeah, listen, this man doesn't want to ring. Let's just face it. He does not want to ring.
DeAndre Hopkins just wants to be fashionable, apparently. But
he told the Titans to stay in touch. He does not want to ring. This man just wants to be.
Let's go to a guy who has 2 rings, because this has become an interesting combination after Uncle Shannon has stepped down from Undisputed. Skip tweeted out, "Undisputed returns soon, can't wait." And Shady responded, "Yes, sir." Now, all Philadelphia news sources, because Eagles fans, we love Shady. He's like our prodigal son. He is the most stout Eagles defender of all time. I still have my Shady throwback upstairs. I rock that man's jersey anytime I can. He was the only Eagle. Well, now Jalen Hurts is come as close to. Brian Dawkins is like God to Eagles fans, and he's like the closest thing to God, like a hero I'll ever have. I really don't like put sports people as heroes because I think it's unhealthy and I think it's bad for your psychology. Brian Dawkins as a human being is amazing, because I know people who know him personally, and they're like, he's the coolest dude ever. Shady was the closest to cracking that and being my favorite Eagle of all time. And besides Jalen Hurts, nobody's even come close. So Shady to us Eagles fans is like this mythical legend because he was robbed of a title by that racist ass douchebag Chip Kelly. He traded Deshaun Jackson because they had gang ties. But then he gets Josh Huff's dumbass who fucking gets caught with a gun charge. Like, I could not stand with that bullshit. Fuck Chip Kelly.
All over the place.
What?
So he's fucking all over the place. Chip just
Dude, he's whatever. Anyway, so Shady and Skip. I love Skip. I love Shady, but I can't. Joy Taylor knows the fuck out of me. So like, I can't watch his show because Joy knows the hell out of me. Because I watched her on Cowherd for years, right? And as much as I love Colin and I love that he tries to be like Colin the Coward has got his own brand, right? Joy Taylor used to be awesome, and then about like 3 years ago, she kind of got this whole thing where she is the host, and then she goes to her own show. And I like Acho somewhat, I like Rick Bucher somewhat, and the other dude they have on there is okay, but Shady steals that show.
Yeah.
Every clip of that show is Shady. Now Skip and Shady, oh fuck. Now that's get your popcorn. I'm ready for this shit, man. I know Kelsey ain't ready. DJ's roommate Kelsey ain't ready for this shit. But man, I want this so bad. Fellas, Skip and Shady before we get into Clown of the Week. What are you thinking? Skip and Shady for Undisputed. I'm for this. I will actually watch this shit.
I'm not a fan of Skip. He annoys the shit out of me, if we're being honest.
Oh,
but
I know too.
I think it's absolutely hilarious that we're going to pair a former Eagles player with a huge Cowboy fanboy. So I think it'll be interesting seeing these debates with these two. I'm not going to lie to you. I'll tune in a little bit, but I ain't giving this shit much attention.
All right, Jay, what do you think your fellow Oklahoma native pairing up with an Eagles fan?
Yeah, I'm definitely not watching any of this. I barely watch Skip and Shannon together, and I love Shannon Sharp. And it's
Uncle
just Skip
Sam
kills
Shannon's
me.
the
I can't deal with Skip Bayless and just everything he says, which is baffling. I've heard people in the industry say this, is that everything you hear out of Skip Bayless's mouth, he actually believes. And I'm just like, there's no possible way half the shit that he says you can truly believe that. No, that's what everybody in the industry says. It's what a few people I've heard on podcasts say. No, Skip believes that shit. He does.
What's his name? Fucking Jay Paul. Whoever the dude who used to host Cold Pizza said it's like everything is true.
Yes. And I'm just
Apparently,
like that.
Skip is the nicest dude on the planet when you meet him in person.
Oh no. They said that he's beyond nice, generous dude when you meet him, but but everything he says, he believes. And I can't believe someone would believe half the idiotic shit he does. I think what got me, and especially what got Shannon Sharp to go ahead and just quit working with his ass, was when he was attacking Shannon Sharp over Tom Brady. And it's just like, bro,
I thought the Damar
serious.
Hamlin shit was what was the pushing shit.
Yeah, that started it. And then when he started attacking Shannon Sharp's credibility because he was talking about how Tom Brady's looking old, which Tom Brady was looking old. As a Bucs fan, he was looking old. He's over 40 years old. He looks old. And Skip was just vehemently defending him and saying that Shannon Sharp was nothing compared to him. And Shannon's like, whoa, bro. I'm in the hall. I got 3 rings. What? And he's like, well, you're talking about Tom and blah, blah, blah. I was like, hey, man.
I think Skip's biggest problem is once he left with Stephen A., I don't think he understood. Like, Stephen A. gave him breaks. Like, understood. Like, when he, like, listen, like, you don't cross certain lines. Like, Uncle Shay Shay, you don't go after that motherfucker. He's South Georgia, man. That dude has got some shit.
Yes.
I know.
He shit it in an outhouse.
I went to college. Me and Matt went to college with dudes from South Georgia. These dudes are different breeds, man.
Look, man, the dude didn't have an actual functioning bathroom for most of his childhood.
Yeah.
He shit in an outhouse.
It's a real shit. Like, that's real shit down there.
Yeah.
So that's like when they talk about raised in the mud, that's raised in the mud. Like,
yeah, him and Sterling, yes, 100%.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. And so the dudes who grew up in South Georgia, I always will throw them so much respect because
I couldn't do it.
I may be a hick. That's some real shit right there.
Yeah, that's a level that I'm country, but not that level.
I'm about a 6 or 7 on the country scale. That's a 12.
20.
Yeah, no shit, facts.
For anybody up in the Northeast that's familiar with all the radio shows up in here in the New York area, Undisputed to me is pretty much a remake of like Mike and the Mad Dog, just 2 grown men just screaming at each other and just having to have the last word and had talked the most over everybody. It's like I just see this show and I'm like, I've seen this before. And Mike and the Mad Dog broke up exactly because of this whole Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless shit. They can't get along. They don't mesh. They talk over one another. Nobody wants to hear any of them speak. I've seen it. I've lived through it. I don't need another remake of the show, pretty much.
I mean, I want to see
Fair
Shady go up again. I love Shady. I think he's very marketable as a TV host. That's my point. Now, when are we going to start realizing Skip's old ass ain't worth it anymore?
I've realized that. I don't think.
No, I know you realize we're the Fox executives. Listen, I'd rather give him Tucker Carlson more fucking screen time than fucking Skip Bayless at this point. It's Skip to me is just like he was great with Stephen A because that was a chemistry that worked. Skip and Shannon was fun for like the first year, and then you realize it wasn't working because Shannon has so much personality, has so much of a push. You kind of have to respect who he is. But DJ Shady and Skip, I'll watch it, but I know it's gonna be a train wreck. What do you think?
I'll give it a chance reluctantly, but I'm not really feeling it. They, like you said, these two are not going to mesh. I can't see it working. I'll give it a year if this is the one. I don't think it's going to mesh long term. They don't coagulate. From what I've seen with Shady and what I've seen with him, they're not going to coagulate very well.
I think Shady is Fox's rising star, and Skip is like the aging star that they want to kind of keep going. And I feel like this is like that buddy cop comedy. They're trying to make it work. It's going to be fucking awful, but I'm here for it. I'll watch a couple episodes. All right. Last but not least, Mr. Harper, it's time to take us away. And fuck you for beating my Diamondbacks.
That's a clown question, bro.
Presented by SeatGeek. Promo code BellyUp for $15 off at your purchase. All right. Clown of the Week nominees. We know John Morant has been the king since February. I, ladies and gentlemen, present to you the nominee of nominees, Mr. Zion Williamson. My man got put on blast by a porn star. And not even like a tier one, like even like mainstream media talks about. I'm talking like, I mean, listen, anybody like Mariah Mills, I guess she's sort of, I don't even fucking have my
let's be real. We all know who Mariah Mills is.
Yeah,
let's be real.
Yeah, okay. So the tweets are hysterical. Congrats, Zion Williamson. F you. I hate you. On God. Oh, well, hold on. Looks like you had a girlfriend behind my back. Better pray I'm not pregnant because I'm definitely late, Zion Williamson. The tweets get worse and worse. She starts talking about how you fucked a minor porn star after me. And like, this is my favorite one. I'll let you fuck me so many times without a condom. And this is what you do. You hood rat that does CPN. I had to have somebody explain what CPN means. But dude, this shit was fucking, I was reading this shit live, and then I also saw it on Craft Brew. I was laughing hysterically. This is Jay, we were talking about why I don't want Zion. This dumbass who does this much stupid ass shit and gets involved in this crap, I don't want him anywhere near my roster.
He needs to take some notes from Jimmy Garoppolo because I've never seen Mia Khalifa come for him like that.
Or what he dated the older one too. The one was like 40-something years old.
Oh no, yeah, it wasn't Mia Khalifa. It was Kiara Mia.
Hello, Matt's got these shit on rip. All right. I will say this. Zion is my clown of the week. I think Zion has taken his draft mate's crown and then just porn started up with all this bullshit. Oh my God. This is so funny because it just shows this, like, we already knew this dude had lack of judgment with the fact he couldn't stay in shape. But now we know even more he cannot stay. He has bad judgment because and then she put his Snapchats on blast.
Yeah, that was wild. He did some shit.
Dude, I can't. Zion's my nominee. Does anybody else have a nominee to throw in Ja?
I'll go and
Ja
throw
can hold this crap for weeks.
I'll go and throw one in there. With Ja, we got gunshots. With Zion, we got back shots. With mine, we're going to go with headshots. We're going to go with Antonio Brown on this one. Not only is the last couple of months not paying players, getting kicked out, he's been so unhinged in the last 6 days. He got his entire team kicked out of the Arena League now. The unhinged interview earlier this week, the NLA Board of Directors decided to unanimously terminate the agreement with Albany Empire as well. It says the decision was reached after an emergency conference call of the members in good standing to discuss the Empire's failure to pay their league-mandated and overdue assessments, which is $1,000 a month, basically, just to stay running. He didn't pay that, didn't pay players, gave a ridiculous unhinged interview earlier this week about pulling Albany Empire. Get Antonio Brown on the list, too. I don't know if he'll dethrone Ja, but I think he's he's earned his right to be at least in the conversation.
Man, the
So
Ravens wide receiver is having a day.
Future Ravens wide receiver.
I love that was a thing for about 5 minutes during the draft. All right, so we're gonna do this interesting. So we have 2 nominees. So we're gonna do a 1v1. We're gonna do Zion versus AB. We'll go around the horn. Majority wins. I guess because I'm the host, my vote counts more. Or we'll flip a coin. Fuck it, I don't care. All right. So we'll go around the horn. Who wins, Zion or AB? Jay, we'll start with you. Who's the nominee for Clown of the Week?
I'm going AB, man. He just be doing shit, man. Like, I don't understand what the hell's going. I don't know what the hell's wrong with him. I'm gonna go AB.
All right, fair. All right, Maddie, you're up.
I'm gonna be the. I'm gonna play the devil's advocate. I'm gonna go with Zion in this one. Honestly, I just it's a wild because I've completely forgot about it until you just mentioned it, and then it just unlocked all the memories I had on Twitter and everything. And the man is just. She is dragging him everywhere. I'm going with Zion on this one.
All right, Deej, you're for taking your nominee. I'm taking mine.
I mean, Zion's a horny 23-year-old that has a lot of money and notoriety. Like that's one thing. Antonio Brown's taking away people's livelihoods at this point too. I mean, he got a team kicked out of the
livelihood relies on the AFL. That's another problem. All right. Skull is AB. Bottom beer cap that drop it is Zion. All right. It's AB. AB wins. As much as I want to shit on Zion, DJ did make a good point, but I was still going to vote for my guy. It did land as I apparently grabbed my thing. It is tails it landed on. So, or heads. Sorry. Fuck. Shit. Whatever. All right. It's AB. So we're going to go to the final vote. John Morant, who is now going to be suspended indefinitely, I don't know for how long, in the next couple of weeks by Adam Silver, who has been strip clubs, showing guns on IG Live, just trying to be that fake hood motherfucker. We all went to high school with that kid. I know I did. He got popped on a knife charge. He literally brought a knife to school and then got popped on a gun charge about 3 weeks later. 3 years later. Damn. Jay, for the record, my graduating class is 3 different towns together.
Yep.
And this dude tried to get rap cred by trying to stick up a store.
That's like trying to buy shoes with food stamps. I can't even think of a very reasonable something comparable at this point. That's just
where's the logic?
Like what?
His parents made. Okay, so for the record, he was his family at the time. My town has got a lot more diverse over the last 20 years. But when this happened, his family was one of the few African American families in my town. But his dad and his mom are fucking loaded. This dude was driving a Beamer to fucking high school. My ass couldn't even afford a car.
My ass was going uphill both ways. I don't know.
Exactly. I was walking. Yo, I was hitching rides with my girlfriend. Like I was like shit. Like I'm like broke. Like so. Like that's why this is crazy. So that's why this is who Ja reminds me of, right? So Ja has been the king because of this, but AB is fucking unhinged. He caused an AFL team to collapse because of his ownership. Fuck, Donald Sterling didn't even fucking do that. All right.
All they had to do is pay $2,000 in 2 separate $1,000 increments over the course of April and May, and this wouldn't have been an issue. But he
wouldn't hurt a thing.
Wouldn't even notice it.
Yeah, right. All right, so we're gonna go around the horn here. All right, Jay, Mr. Morant or Mr. Brown? Who's getting the dub this week?
Brown.
All right, Maddie.
Yeah, I'm gonna go AB too. Honestly, he's so unhinged that maybe if we just give him Clown of the Week, maybe this will fulfill his insanity and he'll actually just stop. So I'm gonna go AB and try this logic because what else is there to do? He doesn't want to get medicated or anything. So let's just try and give him this award and maybe this will be enough.
I know you're going AB.
I'm worried if we give him Clown of the Week, this might actually crank it up to 11. Like this might fulfill the prophecy or something like that. And he's about to take down the entire world. So I'm scared to vote for him at this point. But at this point, we're gonna let Ja take 1 week off of Clown of the Week. We'll see what a suspension is, because if it's another ridiculous suspension, he'll be right back here next week probably. So we'll go with AB
Fair
this
point.
time. We'll give Ja 1 week of breathing room. He's had like 2 weeks in the last 3 months of breathing room off this, so we'll give him another week.
And the winner is All Hail AB is the Kid Clown of the Week after after at least 15 weeks. I lost count after the Super Bowl. It's kind of been like time has kind of meshed together after the sadness that was the Super Bowl. That was around the week that Ja did all this bullshit. Ja won it for pointing lasers at the Pacers bus, and he's held it. AB shut down a fucking pro sports team. All right, yeah, AB is the winner. Ding dong, the king is dead. Ja's reign is over. This is like Sanchez with a butt fumble, man. Sorry to bring over bad memories. On Sports Center, not top 10. He held that. I think I held it for like 30 weeks, whatever. Ja held Clown of the Week for like 6. Damn. We finally, after Jay, listen, Jay, I think you're the good luck charm. We finally had somebody dethrone AB. For Ja after 30 or 20 something weeks. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the Clown of the Week, of course, is presented by the amazing folks at SeatGeek. Also, this amazing podcast is presented by the amazing people at unofficial.com. Promo code CornerBooth for 10% off. Candidates, promo code BellyUp20 for 20% off. Mahler Bros, BellyUp 15% off. And BellyUp Media, the amazing company we all have worked for, and I've worked for now almost 5 years. My 5-year anniversary is in 3 weeks. That's terrifying to me. I've been in this company for fucking 5 years. Oh, nuts. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to give our guest time to shine. Jay, where can we find your amazing content?
Find me on Unfair Sports. Just search on YouTube, and that's where you'll find me, and wherever podcasts are downloaded and listened to.
Fair enough. I subscribed this week, and I also followed him on Twitter because, got to show some love. And DJ, where can we find you and your body dub, your homeboy, and on all listening devices?
You can catch me and Kelsey from High Low Sports every Wednesday at 8 p.m. live on YouTube, Twitter, and all of that stuff. Catch us everywhere you listen or download podcasts. All of our shows are uploaded there as well, too. Check out our YouTube page, find some videos, some clips, things like that as well. Go and follow us on all major social media as well.
Yeah, see, there's the Twitter handle. I don't know why the hell the Sports Scramble guys who share a channel with us freaking always kick their shit off. Trust me, that's every time. Since Matt has been kicking around something down there, I'll do the thing this time. You can find us all Corner Booth podcast or Corner Booth Pod on everything. Listen, no other podcast spells with a K instead of a C. We appreciate you guys checking in, stopping in with us. We have always strived to be the pregame show for the weekend as much as just 4 to 6 guys and gals just bullshitting over beers and whiskey, talking sports and bullshitting like we're at a sports bar. We appreciate all for stopping by. Shout out to our sponsors, and of course, shout out to BellyUp Media for pushing through this podcast. Check out Jay and DJ's contents at Unfair Sports and High Low Sports, and you can see me and Matt's clown asses on everything Corner Booth Pod. Mason will be back in a few weeks. My man is enjoying his well-earned vacation, and Matt has just discovered electricity. Congrats, Ben Franklin. All right, folks, enjoy yourselves. Have a great weekend. Please drink responsibly and drive safe. And we will see you guys on – actually, no show this Monday. So we'll see you guys next Thursday. Peace.